Hello, scrappy friends. Welcome back. I am doing a process video today of this year. Oh gosh, wait a minute, it's 1st January. Christmas 2022's baking with my nieces. I am using November 2022 hip kit plus lots of other November hip kits from previous years. I'm also using these perspectives from Bramble Fox, most of which is from the latest Fox box. The little chef's hat is from a class that I did with them at Sheffield, with Paper Fox at Sheffield. Just deciding where I wanted the photos to begin with, and getting out the scraps now to do like a shelf across the page. Oops, sorry for the crackle there, I've just hit my mic. Just doing a shelf across the page. I used several different scraps from several different previous November 2020 November Hip Kit Club kits. I think that mint sheet actually is a Stampin' Up sheet, I think. But yeah, just coming in with the scraps, trying to find the 12-inch long ones and the ones that aren't 12 inches or only going to be shown a little bit of. Just taking an end off and tucking them where they're going. Now, I like this with the photos sat on them. Something happens when I take the photos off and I stick them all back on, because the photos don't go on back like this. So you'll see that in a minute. I did decide that it needed sort of a border for the shelf for the pieces, so I'll put this red piece on to do that, and just making sure everything is in place. I do eventually get round to cutting that branding strip off, but for now it's still on there. So sorry about the big O in the middle that you can see reflected in the photos. That's my new light ring, which is really helping, keep everything nice and bright, because this is actually quite dull in my room. But I think the picture's quite clear because of my new light. This is me just getting some paper snips out from Bramble Fox. So I was going to use the 24 from the sheet of you punch them out with a 1-inch circle punch and then put an epoxy round on them. I decided not to, because the actual 24 on that particular one, the actual numbers aren't very big, so I don't think you would have seen that's what I was trying to achieve, was putting the date. What I also don't notice when putting these strips down is that bottom red stripy one wasn't cut straight. Which I don't think you can tell when everything's all down and on top. The only reason I noticed is because when I'm putting the photo on, it didn't line up straight, and that's because everything's gone wonky from building it on top of that sheet. Getting my 3D foam out here. This is from my big wheel of foam from Hey Little Magpie. Thank you, Laura and Sarah, for the fab idea of cutting them down and keeping them in a smaller pot like that. I'm now just putting the photos back in, and you'll notice I've put them back on lower down on the page than they were originally, which to begin with I'm a bit miffed with myself for, because it means there's loads of room at the top of the page and not much at the bottom. But by the time I start putting the embellishments on, it actually doesn't matter. You'll see what I mean in a minute. It does kind of level it out a little bit. Excuse me. So just putting the last of the photos down. Cut the branding strip off one key to begin with. So I've cut out me messing about to get it straight. Thankfully, when I cut it off one key, it wasn't at 12 inches, so there was still room to cut it down. So now I'm just deciding on that perspective, because I was originally going to have the tail of the Y over the photo, but of course putting it up on foam, I can't do that anymore. And then playing about with where I'm putting the holly pieces. And I do decide to do diagonal left to right and just do 2 clusters instead of my usual 3. And that's me just putting them there. Trying to figure out if there's another piece of protective on that perspective, and there wasn't. Okay, so as you can see, quite a big pile. These are all stickers, chipboard stickers, puffy stickers, cardstock stickers from 4 or 5 years worth of November Hip Kit Club kits. I hadn't started using the November 2021 kit yet when 2022 arrived. So I've just put it all in one big organiser, so that all together, all my leftover bits of paper, all my full sheets of paper, all the embellishment sheets and packs are all together, just in the hope to get through some of it this year. And also, as well, you'll see in a minute how I've got the die cut ephemera stored. I'll show that in a minute. Just going to use the Tombow glue on the back of this perspective. You don't really see it. It's good glue, dries clear. And then I just like that little chef's hat on the December, because at the end of the day we were baking. This little sticker, cookies for Santa, determined it was going on. Do find a place for it in the end. There we go. And then it's just going through more of the stickers. Do use these labels. And you see in a minute with this little red label. So just using these as tuckies behind the photo for layers. And you'll see I just dump the red one on the page. That's just because I know I want to use it. Not sure where to put it, so I'm making sure it doesn't get forgotten. And I've just put it there. Probably not the best place to put it. Decide, because we are home baking, to put the house, and I knew that I wanted something bigger next to the big photos. That's why I've left a gap between the house and the big photo there. Here we go. So my die cut ephemera are in the 6x8 Pocket Life, Project Life folders, so that each type of embellishment's got its own little folder. It's me trying to decide where to put that star cookie back. So they all go in there, and then drop a load out at the top, so probably not the smartest idea. See that little candle bottle at the bottom? It took ages before I noticed that. And then I spotted these numbers. So that's my 24, because we are on Christmas Eve. We bake every Christmas Eve, me and my nieces. This year we were at my oldest niece's house, and her stepdaughter for the very first time joined us. So we've been baking every Christmas Eve with Megan and Caris and Kate since Kate was about 5, maybe older than that, about 8. And it's just become a tradition. I did ask them this year, is it me being sentimental, or do they enjoy still doing it? And they assured me they still enjoy doing it. It's not just me being sentimental, so I'll take that. So just going through the rest of the embellishments, just see if there's anything else there to add. I do use a couple of the words from this. These are puffies from either this year, 2020 or 2021, I'm not sure. Just use a couple of them. And you'll notice as well I did pop that red label in there. Just having a look through these words, see if there's anything. I use a couple of words off this as well, and then eventually stick down the holly leaves, and then I'll be done. So nearly there. So I can't remember what the words were. Do need to journal on this yet. I haven't done the journaling. That's probably going to go a little bit to the right of the main photo and a little bit under the bottom to the left. sort of around that embellishment cluster at the bottom left. So I think that's it. Go back with some dots where I'm not sure. End up using these silver sparkly ones. I do 3 clusters on these. I know I've done diagonal rather than 3 embellishment clusters like I normally do, but I do 3 lots of these, and then we're done. So thanks for watching. Have a great new year. 1st of January when I'm recording this, and yeah, happy scrapping. Bye bye.